Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is Hakim's Odyssey, Book 1, From Syria to Turkey. A really fascinating start to a graphic novel series. It's going to be a 3-book release about a man named Hakim who is a refugee from Syria. So this is done by Fabien Toulmé, and a really fascinating graphic novel. It's published or being released by Mundi. So Mundi is a publisher that focuses on graphic medicine. They do a lot of releases around healthcare. So think about maybe like a graphic novel explaining some disease or something like that. That's kind of graphic medicine. So for them releasing a graphic novel about a refugee from Syria really kind of caught my eye and became something I really wanted to read. I mean, just at first glance, it's not something I would necessarily think of that a publisher with that sort of focus would release. But when you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. The refugee crisis anywhere, is very much a health crisis. It's not just the healthcare issues that they experience, disease that might spread from just their journeys, or the poor conditions that they might live in various locations, but also the mental health issues that they would experience going through their journey as well. So fitting into, I think, Graphic Mundi's overall overarching kind of theme of a publisher, it actually makes a lot of sense. So this is a true story. It's about a guy named Hakim. He's a young Syrian that winds up having to flee the country. And then, as I said, this is book 1. It kind of ends as part of his journey. It's not a complete story. There's not really an end point per se. It finishes as he's about to be beginning another part of the leg of his journey. It's a good spot to end. So this kind of takes up everything through Hakim's life in Syria. We get to experience that, to his fleeing and experiencing the kind of the uprising that was occurring there, the beginning of the uprising that was occurring there, and then his experiences in various countries attempting to make a living as a refugee. It's a fascinating read, done in a very it feels a very good flow, very honest. Nothing's held back, and what's interesting is that it's done in a style that it just presents the facts. There's nothing kind of over the top, shocking about it. He's at one point taken in by the secret police in Syria and tortured, but it's never gone into like the important detail where it feels sensationalist or gory, or it almost feels kind of tampered down in many ways. Like, this is life. This was the facts. But I think what's really also great about it is it sets up Hakim's life beforehand. This is a person who had a good life. He has his own business. He was a thriving business. He had bought his own apartment. He was living a very good life, and his family seemed to be doing decent as well. And yet they still kind of fall into the revolution, the uprising. They get pulled into this. And you get the sense of him that he's torn, that he wants this freedom, he wants to see things change in the country, but at the same time he doesn't quite want to risk everything that he has, which is understandable. And it's not until his hand is forced that he makes a lot of changes, and he goes on his journey. And I think it's really interesting, and it's honest in many ways. The narrative of it, I think, is really cool. The way it's presented it is an interview. It's an interview that then kind of shifts into kind of as a narrative as to things going on. It's Hakim telling his story to Fabien and recounting his experiences, and then some really interesting back and forth with Hakim and his now family. It's really good. This is really solid stuff. And I think what I like the most about it is, I'm aware of the Syrian civil war. I'm aware of various factions. I'm not totally aware of all the history. I know who I'm rooting for, but I don't know all the specifics. And Hakim does actually a really good job of backing things up a little bit and giving those details to Fabien to put in the graphic novel. It's clear of he goes to start to tell stories like, wait, I need to give you some details. Here's the details that you need to know to understand all this. And I think that's excellent. It's done really well. But overall, like, I think that the thing that's most important here is Hakim comes off as someone we're rooting for. You know, at no point does he come off as bitter. At no point does he come off as angry. He has a dream of settling down and getting married and having a kid and starting a business and living a life. And I think that's something we can all root for. And you know, he's shit on a lot. He's crapped on in so many different ways, but he never comes off as negative about it. You know, he makes comments of like, you know, I don't have any money. I'm you know, starving, all this stuff. But at the same time, it's never a like, damn this person for doing it. You know, I'm blaming this person. He gets up and he works and he attempts to move forward in a positive way. And there's something like commendable about that. There's something to really praise. There's something to really like to appreciate as far as an individual. Like, this is someone we want to cheer on. The art is good. It reminds me a lot of Guy Delis's style. It does kind of have like a small, humorous, visually moments. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of Guy Delis, and I love Guy Delis, so this is not a negative thing at all. This is good. This is amazing. It comes out November 2nd. Graphic Mundi's hooked us up with it. This is, like, if you are interested in real-world events, learning about other people's experiences, just a fascinating story that's gripping and interesting, and like, I've sucked in. Like, I read this front to side. I did not want to stop reading this. Check this out. This is really, really, really good. And honestly, this is something that should put Graphic Mundi on the map. Like, this is a graphic novel that everyone should be checking out and like really thinking about it. And like, to me, this is graphic novel of the year material. It's definitely going to make best of lists and deserves so. The only knock is it's a part 1. It has to end some point, and the ending is, I'm not going to say unsatisfying, but, you know, it's clearly a to be continued, and it's understandable. So overall, I absolutely love it. I think it's top-notch stuff. Highly recommend it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful graphic novel. You should be able to get this at your graphic novel, at your comic shop. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code to tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links underneath this video. They'll likely be affiliate links. By doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. I want to thank Graphic Mundi for hooking us up with the review copy. Really appreciate it, and thank you all for watching. If you're into comics, if you're into graphic novels, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.